Welcome to Chapter 3. Here is how to draw any digital asset in 10 simple steps.
Step 1. Coffee. I'd recommend a blonde roast for the anti-cancer compounds and lighter flavor profile. Step 2. Planning and references. While important, this step is self-explanatory. My only advice here is twofold. First, if you use a transparent layer over your raw game assets, you can ensure your image will be exactly to scale. And second, don't ignore the intuitive. While it's true a card game requires no real assets beyond the cards themselves, in this case, creating a boat with 2 elevated sections where cards will be placed feels better intuitively for players. The added bonus, of course, is that the ship fits thematically with the overall lore of the word. More on them later. Step 3. Remind yourself that in the words of Paulo Coelho, fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself, and that no heart has ever suffered when it goes in search of its dreams. Step 4. Drawing, shape, and value. I know for myself my art improved dramatically when I started drawing initially in grayscale and focusing on the overall silhouette. This is primarily because we don't actually see line work in real life, nor do we really see color. Instead, what we see is shapes and values, and therefore, if you can get those parts correct, the rest will usually fall into place. Don't just take my word for it though. Here's the greatest digital painter of all time, Craig Mullins, discussing it in an interview with Bobby Chiu in the Schoolism miniseries. Link in the description.
There is a hierarchy of getting an image to read naturalistically, and that is drawing, shape, value, and then color. And color, I guess to make my point, I'll just troll and say color's not important. So.
Step 5. Remind yourself that you are on the hero's journey, that even the greatest peaks cannot exist without valleys. Step 6. Details. Now that you've already blocked in your value, you can go ahead and add line work on top. Don't worry if it's not perfect, you'll be able to fix it in the coloring phase. Step 7. Recognize that you're about to enter the hardest phase, known as the muddy middle, and pour yourself a drink. I'd recommend gin, but whatever you have laying around should do the trick. Step 8. Color. Use your references and try to maintain the original grayscale values that you put down earlier. Don't get discouraged. Most artists likely agree that the muddy middle is the hardest part. The important thing is that you keep putting down pixels until it looks the way you want, or at least until you don't hate it. Just keep swimming. Step 9. See Step 7. Last but not least, Step 10. Detailing, highlights, and shadows. By now you should be mostly done, but these final touches can often make or break a piece, especially shadows and highlights, so make sure you include some. And remember, the words that are often attributed to Da Vinci: a work of art is never finished, merely abandoned.
So there you have it. That is how you draw any digital asset in 10 simple steps. If you like this video, I hope you follow along.